Gentlemen, they actually listen. To an extent. For all my Chaos Zero Nightmare people, you will have no idea what this game is. So let me give you a quick rundown. I did a bunch of content on a game known as Grand Summoners, and it was pretty much the primary game on my channel for years. And there was problems with the game for a while, and there still are problems, and they never really got touched on or fixed. So I made a video about it, just detailing my frustrations and everything, called The Decline of Grand Summoners. That video got a lot of views and a lot of likes, and also a ton of comments with most people sympathizing with what I was saying. And it seems like the Grand Summoners dev team saw that video and saw the reception and was like, we might need to do something. So here we are now with the most recent live stream that happened in JP, introducing Highlander to the game. Now, one of the things I said in that video was talking about how I would love for GS characters to be at the top, and it seems like this unit isn't necessarily doing that. I don't know if they're going to start trying to move towards that way, where the Grand Summoners units are some of the best units in the game, because he looks okay, but that's about all I can say. But the big change here is the unit summoning changes. Gacha system in GS is downright terrible, but the way that they could remedy this entire thing is take a book out of Chaos Zero Nightmare or many other new games that have came out where pity carries over. That was the whole thing about that video, was that it would be great if pity actually carried over. However, there are some some changes in this that are interesting, to say the least. The pity carryover is actually happening. Hero exchange stones will no longer expire and will be standardized across all subsequent summons to be used. However, the number required to exchange for any unit will be increased from 30 to 60. You just had to throw that part in there. So they've upped the pity from now 1,500 to 3,000 for a unit. Before I give my thoughts on that, let's talk about the rest of it. Previously released units will be permanently available for exchange, so they actually are adding ascended characters into the banners. Thank God. So this means that you can pull units like Ultimate Paladin Roy, War God Finn, all these other characters that have been out for years. They can now be pulled straight from the banner as one of your random 5 stars, which I think is incredible. I mean, of course you can get spooked now, but hey man, that's pretty good considering that you always have a chance to get something usable now at least. The number of hero exchange stones obtained from summons has been changed, so we get 1 from a free multi, your first paid multi gives you 5, and every subsequent paid multi gives you 2. So technically, if you're welling, the pity price didn't change, but if you're free to play, it did. To remedy this, they did give everybody 30 pity gems. So even free-to-play players, you still have a normal pity cost, quote-unquote, when this initially goes live. However, after that pity goes away, you would then need 3,000 free crystals to pity your next character. I'm going to be honest, I don't even know if they give 3,000 crystals out within a year. Because here's what I'm worried about. Some people will be like, oh, OP, there's nothing to worry about. It all carries over. But this just seems like a huge mountain for all my free-to-play plebes to climb out there. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm, completely overthinking it here. Maybe it won't be that bad, but I truly don't believe they even give out 3,000 crystals within a year. Because the thing is, I think at most we get maybe like 2,000, a little bit over 2K crystals a year. So it's going to take like a year and some months for you to be able to guarantee you get one of the units, which kind of is a little strange to me because I don't really understand why they changed it to 60. Unless they were considering that we're still going to be getting the same amount of crystals that we always do, so we're going to have about 3 to 4 multis a month. Maybe that's what they were thinking, that people are just going to be shoveling crystals into banners now, and saving isn't going to necessarily be like the best thing to do in a lot of cases because everything carries over. Which true. So in reality, it may not be as bad, but this still looks bad, because the reason why this looks bad is because we as the players are now having to wrap our head around what was the reason behind this. If you look at other games real quick, like games that aren't even out yet, like Duet Night Abyss, they just had their huge live stream talking about everything that's going to be at launch of the game. You know how they started this live stream? They started with them talking about monetization. They didn't wait and show you gameplay and everything else. They said, no, let's talk about monetization first. The thing that people really want to know. How are we going to monetize the game? What are we doing in the game to get money out of the players? They put it all on the table, so they knew everything. It reminds me of a lot of like what Wuwa did after the initial release of Wuthering Waves, and I don't even play Wuthering Waves, but the Kuro devs went crazy with that. Or, Chaos Zero Nightmare right now. They are being very transparent with a lot of the stuff they did. The game's been out for a little over like a week at this point. They've already gave out a dev letter detailing, what they're looking at, what player feedback they're listening to, what changes they're really trying to push for the game, and even stuff that they're like, what, guys, we know that you guys love this game mode right now, but we don't want you to get burnt out, so we're going to try to make the other game modes a bit better so you guys will enjoy the game for longer and not just get burned out by playing the same thing over and over. Why doesn't GSS do that? I think that would have made this entire process a bit easier, and I don't mean like give the corporate correct answer or anything. I mean legitimately tell the player base why this change was implemented. Why did you guys increase the pity from 30 to 60? What was the thought process behind it? And is it really as bad as it may look? Of course, they may try to spin it in their favor, like, oh yeah, guys, it's like this and everything, but still, this is a step in the right direction. I will give them that. This is a step in the right direction, but we still are lacking that communication. The dev team is kind of this mythical creature that shows up for live streams once a month and then they disappear. I don't remember the last time we got a dev letter or anything addressing the community as a whole. So this lack of communication gives a lot of unrest and makes it seem like this entire change was not made from a place of understanding, but a place of anger and like a little bit of animosity towards the community since the pity went up. Sure, you guys listened. Great. If we could get just a bit more communication on stuff like this, it would make these type of changes so much better because the player would actually get complete understanding of why the developers thought this way. So for right now, I'm going to say that this change is overall a mixed bag. I like that we got pity carryover. That's a great step in the right direction. But the pity change to 60 at first glance just seems like, whoa, why? You know what I mean? You guys let me know down below in the comment section how you all feel about these changes. Are you happy with the change? Are you overall kind of having mixed feelings or whatever have you? Oh, and one more thing before you all leave, don't forget to drink water.